Hello, fellow chatterers. So this is part of my segmented vlog about Anyone for Seconds, where I'm reading second chance authors who I didn't enjoy the first time and ones who I really loved. So the first ones I'm doing are the wintry pair. So I have Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik, and I have The Girl Who Speaks Bear by Sophie Anderson. So if you're not sure what this is, I will link the video here where I explain what I'm doing, so then this makes a bit more sense to you. So I have started both of these. So I've now read sort of like the first 3 chapters of both of them to kind of give myself a little flavour of what the books are going to be. It's also Polathon this week, so I am so that fits in really well with the whole wintry setting of both of these, because both of these are polar fantasies. The Girl Who Speaks Bear is a middle grade one, and Spinning Silver is an adult one. So The Girl Who Speaks Bear is Sophie Anderson, and she is an author I absolutely loved The House with Chicken Legs from. So I'm hoping that I will continue to love her work in this one. And Naomi Novik, I did not enjoy Uprooted, but I'm hoping Spinning Silver is a better fit for me. And so far, it is. So I've got wintry bookmarks for both of them. So here I am at chapter 4. And I've chosen this, this was made for me by Mum. It was a tag on one of my Christmas presents. I think it was even last year. And I just love the wintry setting with the owl flying across the sky in the snow. So I use it as a bookmark. And I am enjoying it so far, which is brilliant. That's what I was hoping for. I mean, we'll see if it continues. But so far, I am intrigued by what's going to be happening, and I like both the protagonists. So there is much kind of a harsher winter feel in this one. The world feels a lot crueler. We have kind of got a sense of dangerous fae coming through this kind of like, I suppose sort of like almost like secret entrance of the forest, like hidden paths between the fae world and this world. I'm enjoying the concept of Spinning Silver in that it's money lending. So it's like you're spinning nothing into something. And I really enjoyed all of the kind of build up to the family situation and kind of how this comes about, and sort of the lifestyle of our first protagonist, Miriam. So Miriam has basically turned into a moneylender to help out her family, and I'm really enjoying it. I am always a sucker for a poor, unsuccessful business being turned into a success. I really enjoy those kind of stories. So this is really fun, kind of watching this progress. But obviously there's a part of me that it's a very cold-hearted business, you know, puns with the snow here. So I'm intrigued to see where this goes. And I am currently feeling that Miriam is our Rumplestiltskin character. That she has this sort of power to manage to change things into something else, and sort of the ability to do things for other people, and this appreciation of debts being paid, and you know, not going back on your word, and this kind of agreement and bond. So that's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment, but we'll see what happens. The second protagonist is Wanda. Also, again, intrigued by her plot point. So I really enjoyed that the story kind of twists just ever so slightly. It's within literally the first few chapters, obviously, because that's what I've read, where you kind of presume that Miriam is being harsh and involving kind of like slave labor as like a debt to what she's doing. You can't afford, it's kind of like that whole concept of you go to a restaurant, you don't have any money to pay, you do the dishes, that kind of thing. But what we then see is it's kind of flipped, because Wanda's like, well, actually, my father is physically abusive, so any time I can spend out of the house is wonderful. So she actually loves it. So it works both ways. But Miriam doesn't know this. Miriam has no idea. So it's not, any kindness on her part. And so it's seeing kind of where Wanda's coming from and the hardships she has gone into. And I'm feeling she is the character of the miller's daughter that is sold to the highest bidder and is said that she can spin straw into gold. So I am intrigued by, if this is the case, how this plotline is going to go about, what's going to happen, because I really love the fairy tale Rumplestiltskin, but I love it because I just find it so fascinating that it's not a good versus evil fairy tale. I'm on Rumpelstiltskin's side, to be perfectly honest. I hate the fact that the king is never called out upon his actions, and that a bond has been broken. So I like Rumpelstiltskin as a character. So I'm intrigued to see what happens. I mean, I want justice for Rumpelstiltskin. Also, I love the name. Don't you love the name? So yeah, I'm currently really enjoying this. The slow burn, the detail in the writing, it all works for me. I can see the motivations of the characters. I'm enjoying the motivations of the characters. What they're doing makes sense. So far, very much enjoying. There's one more thing I was going to say, and I can't remember what it was. Let's see if it comes back to me. We'll talk about the other book. Just seeing if it's floating around now I've moved on. Yes, it has. So the last thing that I want to say about this was I'm enjoying kind of the relationships and just the kind of the subtleties of caring for people. So we're starting to see we see this relationship between Miriam and her parents, and there has been a massive change within that, but I'm keen to see how this continues, because there's very much kind of a love and affection still there, even if they don't agree with each other's decisions. I'm also enjoying seeing a relationship between Wanda and her brothers, and that they've all come from very much a kind of survival household rather than one of affection and love. So I'm really intrigued to see how that all comes about. We've seen a bit of magic from the forest and kind of a run-in with the dangerous fairies, and I'm very interested to kind of know more of the magic system within this. So far, really intrigued. And I'm not sure if I'm going to check in again at the midpoint, or if I'm going to wait until the end. I think these are the two where they're both similar size books. The middle grade actually has more pages than this one, but I think there is more text within this one, so I think they're kind of balanced out. But all my other pairings, it is quite a chunky adult novel mixed with an adult novella, or possibly a YA novella, I'm not sure. So they're less even. But we'll see with this one. I might do a midpoint checking. I'll see how I feel. So The Girl Who Speaks Bear, I'm just so pleased to be back with Sophie Anderson. I absolutely love her writing. I love the imagery that she kind of conjures up. You really get this wonderful atmosphere of this cold place, and the kind of setting of the characters, the affection for them, what they're wanting. And it's just so beautifully done. And I'm really loving with this one that we get illustrations. So who is the illustrator? It did say, let me find it. So it's Catherine Honesta, and I love her illustrations. Firstly, the cover I think is really cool, with the bear kind of looking behind it, and our protagonist Yanka and her ferret Mousetrap, or is it a weasel? I can't remember. Through the forest. And then we have some full page pretty much illustrations in here in kind of black and white, and I just like they're kind of like almost like collage blocks, and I love how the trees are kind of done as like one colour, and then we've got these little tree bark doodles all over them. I just think it's really cool. And each chapter has got like a heading of these little forest images. So we've got a cabin, different types of pine trees and a moon, and here's a little squirrel. And then on another one, we've got like bears and wolves and things as well. And also we have this map, which is amazing. So here we go, we've got this beautiful map of all the different places. So we've got a mountain there with the bear. We've got Yanka's house and her friend's house, all kind of shown on this map. And one of the chapters has got a sort of like a little fairy tale in it, and the story of the Princess Natasia's last arrow. And all around the story, you've got this border of those pine trees and forest animals and the cabin, just going around to kind of really show that this is a story that's being told in the book. I think that's really cool. So we are following our protagonist Yanka, who was found in the cave with a bear, and we get to meet her adoptive mother and her sort of adopted father. There's definitely an affection like a father figure in there, and there's definitely some sort of affection between what are the names? Mamochka and the father is the not father but basically father is Anatoly. So Anatoly and Mochka are sort of like standing in as her adoptive parents, and I really love the relationship between all of them. You can really see the love in there. Yanka is quite drawn to the forest, and Momochka is trying to show her there is a place for her in the village, even though she's obviously singled out as being very different because she was found in a bear cave, but also her stature. She's a very tall, strong girl. But she's also quite quiet and keeps herself to herself. She has one friend, but she doesn't really like mixing with people, and feels like a little bit of like an outsider in things. So you kind of get that sort of feeling different, sort of isolated protagonist that I think works so well in children's books, because we all sometimes feel a little bit alone and we like to kind of see ourselves in the story, experiencing that. And the forest sounds beautiful. It feels like there's a kind of hint of magic in there, but there's lovely kind of descriptions of sort of like the warm food they're making, of the winter festival they're going to be celebrating, and sort of like embroidery on the clothing, and it's just got a really nice kind of atmosphere and setting in here. So I'm keen to see what happens to Yanka. I feel she's gonna I feel at some point she's gonna go off into the forest, because that's where the story seems to be heading, and I'm really keen to see her adventures. I don't know if she's going to go by herself or if she's going to have friends with her or what's going to be happening, but I'm definitely keen to find out. And yeah, Sophie Anderson, I feel, is writing a book that is going to be up there with The House with Chicken Legs, so I'm delighted. So far, both books enjoying, which is definitely a win. So hopefully I will update you or I will let you know my thoughts at the end of the book, and we'll see if I'm still in this really happy space, which hopefully I will be. Happy reading, everyone.